Hi, this is Lori with Creative Lady Boss Designs. In today's tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how you can create your own stamp brush in Procreate. So we're going to come down at the bottom, we're going to open up the Procreate app, and up in the upper right, I'm going to tap on the plus sign and I'm going to create a square canvas. Now when the canvas opens up, I'm going to change the background color to black. And then I want my brush to be white. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come down to the calligraphy section and I'm going to choose the monoline brush. And we're just going to make a simple shape. So here I'm going to make a star and then I'm going to fill these in. And so we have our simple star shape. And then from here, what you want to do is you want to come up over to the left-hand side. You want to tap on the wrench, and on the add, you want to come down to the bottom and you want to copy canvas. Then from here, we're going to go back to the monoline brush and we're going to duplicate it because you don't want to overwrite your monoline brush. That's a Procreate standard brush and you don't want to overwrite it. So we have our monoline brush duplicated. So we're going to open it and then we're going to make some adjustments. So on the stroke path, we want to set it to max. Now this sets on how far apart your stamps are from each other. If you want it closer together to be more of like a stream, you would not set it at max and maybe set it down to 60, 64%. On the stabilization, we want to put our streamline amount at 0. And then on the taper, we want to, under the pressure taper, put that to all ends. On the size, we want to put that to 0. Same thing with the touch taper, we want to move that to the end and we want to put the size to 0. Then we want to come down to shape. And we want to tap on edit up here. We want to go import, paste. And because we already set the background to black and we drew in white, you don't need to do the 2-tap to invert because black conceals, white reveals. So if you had it like this, when you went to draw, you would see the white with just an outline of the star. So that's why I had already set my background to black. So from here, we want to tap on done. And then we want to leave everything else here the same. Under grain, we want to take movement down to stamp. And we want to take the scale down to none. And we want to take the zoom all the way down to none. So it says follow size. And we want to take the depth down to none. And the rest can stay the same. Oh, I made an error. The depth we want to leave at max. Sorry. Under rendering, we want to do heavy glaze. And there, everything else will stay the same. Under wet mix, we want to change the pull down to none. Under color dynamics, this is where you can set if it's color changing. And once we get the brush created, I will walk you through that process. So for right now, all of that can stay the same. And we want to come down here to Apple Pencil. We want to change the tilt to 9. And we want to change the estimated pressure, to 10. And we want to do cursor outline, contrast. And then the rest of that can stay the same. Under properties, we want to use the stamp preview. We want to turn that on. We want to turn on orient to screen. We want the preview size to be 14. The smudge pull, we want to set down to 0. The maximum size for brush behavior, we want to put at 902. And the minimum size, we want down to none. And then under About Brush, this is where you can name your brush, so we'll just name it. You can tap here, and I always put in my company logo. You can type your name. Now, if you're making these brushes to sell, I highly recommend you do this, because once I sign right here and I touch create new reset point, someone can copy it, but they can't take that information out. So if you are creating these brushes to sell, I highly recommend you do this. If you are just using them for personal use, you don't have to. So now we have our star brush. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to create a new layer and hide that layer. And we have our star. So that is your basic stamp brush. Now let's go in and make a couple of adjustments to the brush, and you can go back to it and you can touch on it and it's going to open up the settings. So as I mentioned before, if you want it to flow a little better, adjust your spacing on your stroke path. As you'll notice, my stars are closer together. Well, now maybe I want my stars to color change as I'm drawing. You would come down to Color Dynamics and change the hue on the stroke color jitter, not on the stamp color jitter. And you can play with all of these settings. So let's see what this does. So now that we've made some adjustments, let's go back out and see if we need to make any more. So instead of having your brush that size, if you want to see a more streamlined, bring it down. I put mine at 10, and you'll notice how it's very uniform, very streamlined, they're close together, and color changing. So now you have a stamp brush, and what you can do is, if you want the stamp brush in the original format, you can come back in here, go down to About This Brush and hit Reset Brush. Now if you want to, so I'm going to go ahead and reset the brush, but now I want to make that a color changing star brush, so I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to go back in and make my changes. And I'm going to come here and go down to Color Dynamics. I'm just going to make these adjustments. And then I'm going to come back down here and I'm going to create a new reset point. Save it. Let's clear our board out. I missed one setting. That one's too close. So that's, you see what I mean by I'm adjusting? I think I know what I did wrong. I need to bring my stamp brush down. There we go. I don't claim to be an expert, as I'm learning things. I like to teach other people how to do the things that I'm learning. So what I have done is we've created two stamp brushes, because yes, it's just one star, but you have one star and then you have a color changing star. What I have done is I have created an entire spreadsheet that walks you through how to make 12 of your own brushes. And it will include source files. And if you're interested in that spreadsheet, there will be a link below where you can get it for free. And also included in that, I am giving away my 10-pack of Vine brushes. So the link will be it's just one link for both of those below. And if you're interested in seeing more videos, go ahead and tap on the subscribe, the bell to get notified, and we will see you in the next video.